Hey everyone, this is Electra back with you for another sunset chat. 2 nights in a row at the sunset. This is at a nice time right now. We'll keep this going as long as I can, I think. I like this. Sunset's my favorite time of day. I don't know about you, but there's just something about sunset that is is better to me than dawn. Dawn, even though I wake up so early now that I actually do see the dawn fairly often, I still just don't like it as much. Because I know other people are waking up early for work. Now I'm just waking up early to because I just do now apparently. And sunset just has a nice feel to it. I like twilight time. And well, we're gonna talk about some existential things tonight in this nice sunset. One of my favorite content creators that I watch a lot of her stuff here on YouTube is her top one of her many topics today is like how much it sucks that we need to be living through this time right now, like especially being in our midlife or younger, um, because and yeah, I mean, there's no good age to be living right now, that's for sure. My parents are mid 70s and retired, so they're kind of in their own little bubble. So I guess in a way that's good, but for them, the bad news is they're never going to see the other side of this. Like I don't think they're going to make it to the end of all this unless it's really quick. Uh, kids, kids are indirectly affected by the fates of their parents. Um, if you have parents that have a good fate and they have good luck in the job market and they do well and get promoted, then you're going to have a great life as a kid. If not, you're just totally dependent on their fate and fortune. But us in midlife, we've had basically 20 years of hell already between the pandemic, 2008, and 2001, 9/11. I mean, at least for me, that was a really hard time in my life. Like I am not overstating things when I say 9/11 was if I had to rank my worst days of my life, I would say 9/11 was second. Still is second, even though I didn't know anybody directly affected. I I just feel like that's when everything really changed in this country, and I don't think it's acknowledged enough. I saw it really, I think, more than a lot of people. It was my last semester of college. I was on the East Coast, but I was way down in Florida. So I was like on the same time zone. So I remember the day it happened really pretty vividly. And yeah, and being in the industry I was in, airlines and aviation, it was just like this feeling just like so unbelievable that that could happen in this country and using my hopeful future industry as its weapon of war against our country. So, and that had very real impacts on my career over the next 10 years and in the airline industry as a pilot. It had an effect on everybody in my generation. Everybody that became an airline pilot in the early to mid 2000s had a major career slowdown because of 9/11. It took like probably a whole decade for the airline industry to catch back up to where it was before 9/11. And I didn't make, hey, sorry everyone, my phone memory got full, so I had to delete some stuff, but I'm back. So yeah, the 9/11, post 9/11 airline industry was an awful time to be in the industry. And I didn't make it through that decade before I just kind of threw in the towel and decided to try doing other things with my life. Um, but really, but also I feel like that's when society changed, and it's never really been the same. So like, so we've had these ups and downs. If you're a late Xer like me, I'm 45. I was born in 1980. So I just as I was coming out in the world after college, like it was immediate post 9/11 world, and things were not normal for at least about 2 years. I would say 2003, four, things were starting to kind of get back to normal, economic and even just like culturally. Uh, and then just after a few years of some relative peace and prosperity, 2008 happened, and then we just got the rug was pulled right under from us again. I personally didn't really recover from 2008 until 2010, 2018, but it's hard for me to say that whole time is because of 2008. That's when I started having my issues with depression and anxiety and just feeling like I was aimless in life and I didn't really know what I was doing or where I was going. Um, and so that's when I started like working in a department store. I actually managed to get promoted there to a manager of a clothing department for couple of years, but then so it was actually the most money I had made in my life up to that time, even more than what I made as a pilot about 9, 10 years before. Oh no, only like 6 or 7 years before when I left. So yeah. Anyway, the ups and downs. I feel like not that this is like who's had it the worst Olympics, but yeah, I feel like I've been riding these ups and downs since 2001, 9/11. That was when I was 21, and now I'm 45. So I feel like I've been on this roller coaster now, like for the majority of my life. I don't know if most people were as affected by 9/11 as I was. I think if you were in another industry, and especially if you were like on the West Coast or nowhere near New York City, or you didn't know any airline people or people in like, certain fields, then it might not have affected you much at all. I know my brother, who was born 2 years after me, he didn't really get affected by it at all. But he was in a completely different industry. And yeah, but really, I think the blow for us though was the pandemic. Like just as okay, 2018 and 19 were really probably the best overall years of my life so far, in terms of just feeling like I was getting ahead in life, and I thought I had a good job at the time, and it seemed like it was working out well. But then that all ended when COVID happened, and yeah, and it's just as I thought my life had kind of gotten back on track, that then I felt like I just got just pushed all the way back to 2008, and like all that all that mental strain and depression, anxiety just like came back stronger than ever before. So why am I saying all this? Not sure, but I guess if it's possible to almost not care anymore, it's me. uh, yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like my ego has been just so demolished to nothing that I don't even really care what happens to me anymore. Um, but I mean that in the best possible way. I don't mean I'm suicidal. And maybe that's something good that can come out of all this. It's the worst way to realize who you really are, or that your path in life was totally different than you thought it was. But I guess it had to happen somehow, because deep down, I also know that if I got exactly everything that I thought I wanted in life, if I was flying at 37,000 feet right now between New York City and Los Angeles, captain on a American Airlines flight, I don't know. I can't imagine I'd be fulfilled doing that either, or else I wouldn't have left. So I took a, I think I did a brave thing. I did something that most people would not do. I think I can say that about a lot of things I've done. I effectively walked away from a marriage when I realized I was transgender, and I knew that was I just, I knew I had to be true to myself. So I walked away from a marriage. I walked away from my first career, my dream, what I thought I wanted in life. Walked away from so many things but yeah, I still don't have much of a clue of what I was walking to. I'm still figuring that out, and I don't know if I'll ever know that. Maybe we never know that. Is there ever going to be a day where you just realize this is why I was born, this is why I'm here? I don't know. I don't know if we can know that. I'll let you know if that happens to me, but it hasn't happened yet. Um, so I think being in midlife, the ego, for me, at least my ego, is basically zero. Everything I thought I was turned out to either be fake or just out of date, obsolete, which is great because now I get to be a whole new person. But then I'm like, how do I fit into a society that doesn't really know what to do with me? I don't even know what to do with me except this and reading and board games. Uh, but there's that saying, when you have nothing else left to lose, or was it? I know there's one that's like, when somebody has nothing left to lose, like beware of them. Like I don't want to. That's not me. I'm not like dangerous. But when somebody has nothing, when a group of people, when a society, as a collective, has nothing left to lose, that is when miracles can happen. I think. Why was our society so stable in the late 20th century? It's because people's material needs were mostly met, which it was good at the time. That's how I was raised to be the person I am now. I was raised in privilege, like I said a few videos ago. That's a different topic. Definitely have some complicated opinions on that one. But when no ego is left, it's freeing because you don't really care what happens. Like whatever happens in the next 5 to 10 years, I don't really care. I really don't even care anymore. But in the best possible way. Like I'm not trying to steer things in a way that I'm trying to please others or be what others expect me to be. And in a way, for the first time in my life, I have the ability now to truly follow my gut, which as a 3-5 generator, that's what I should be doing. If my gut says yes, then that's what I should do. So yeah, it does suck to be alive right now. It sucks in a lot of ways, but it only sucks if you're looking at it through a lens of, oh, I needed to do better than my parents. I needed to do this is making I feel like it's mostly coming from a feeling of comparing yourself to others. I spoke to a good friend of mine that I met in college. I've known him for 26 years on the phone. He's like one of the few friends I have at this point in my life, and I'm really glad I have him. He's very accepting of everything that's happened with me, and yeah, unfortunately he lives in Florida, like 1,200 miles away from me, so I don't know if I'll ever see him in person again, but I hope so. Um, so we talk on the phone though, probably every 2 weeks, and he was talking about he lives near Walt Disney World in Claremont, Florida, and he was kind of bemoaning the fact that like he knows this guy who owns this $600,000 house, and he has like all these cool things, and typical like keeping up with the Joneses mentality, which like this is one thing I love about the Midwest is like there is none of this here. Most people here don't drive luxury cars. Most people here drive like sometimes. I mean, yeah. I'm not saying there's no new cars here. They're just like they're not going to be brand new Lexuses. They're going to be like brand new Hondas or Toyotas or Subarus. Subaru's the car of choice around here in St. Louis. I can tell you that right now. I hardly ever saw those anywhere else I live, but here they're popular, probably for the four-wheel drive. So I just told him, like, you got to stop comparing yourself to others. Like, that's a one-way ticket to depression. And that's really kind of, I think that definitely happened to me in my 20s. I was living in an area, Los Angeles, west side of Los Angeles, and and this is when I was a pilot, and I just felt so poor compared to everybody. And I just felt like I was surrounded by all this money and wealth and prestige. And but I was too young to know any better. I thought I deserved that stuff too, because I was flying airplanes and like, what were these people doing? Like nothing important probably. But that's how I kind of justified it to myself. Um, but sunset is going away. It's only 8:31 Central Daylight Time. I do miss the daylight in the winter for sure. It's a big cause of my seasonal affective disorder, but I am feeling better today. Even though I woke up at 4 in the morning, I woke up, I had a can of ginger ale, Verner's, if you're wondering, and my favorite ginger ale, and went back to sleep, luckily, so for another couple hours. Yeah, I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling better than I have in a while, for no real reason. So things things suck now, and I think we all get upset about it from time to time. Like, why did we have to live now? Why was this what we had to endure? And believe it or not, a lot of spiritual people think that we choose when we are born, and we choose more or less like what our life purpose is. So if you let's look at it from that point of view. If you chose to be here right now, just like I chose to be here right now, we chose to be here now in the year 2025 AD in the United States of America for a reason. And when I feel like this is a bad time to be here, that's what I remember. It helps. It helps me think I'm here for a reason. I came here knowing, we came here knowing how everything was going to work out. We came here knowing we were going to play a role in something. And we came here knowing that. So why would we come here knowing that and then fail? I think we came here knowing that because we knew we would succeed. And that gives me a lot of comfort right now. So let me know what you think about that. How do you relate to anything I've been saying in here? Or I am a highly sensitive person. I do know that. I don't know if I've mentioned that yet, but thank you for watching, and feel free to comment, like, share, subscribe, buy me a cup of coffee or matcha, and take care. Have a good night, and see you on the next one. Bye-bye.